up and going. Let me get us up on Instagram. Hit that like, everybody. Share the show. About to get started. Okay, we're up on Instagram now. I think we should be up on Substack. It seems like it should be. It should be fine. Just don't see it popping down there. It's very weird. Okay, Substack is up. All right. Okay. All right. Substack is up. What's happening, guys? All right, almost there. One more moment. Ready to go. That's true. Here we go. Getting ready. Here it comes. Get ready. Are you ready? You ready? I'm ready. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. There's a lot going on. The microwave circus peanut that is currently functioning as our president, or dysfunctioning as our president, is on his way back from England, or partly on the, I don't know, whatever, is gacked up on Ambien and Haldol on the flight back, and just in time for MAGA to have yet another bone to pick with him, even beyond the lack of Epstein files, and I will show you precisely what that is in a minute. But it is tied in some ways to thumbnails like this. Oh, we'll get there, kids. It's super fun. But meanwhile, welcome, chat room. What's happening? How you guys doing? Good to see you. We have the salute for Trump's return. So when he walks off the plane, they can play. He likes being a royal so much, and they always play those, Hail to the King songs. So I think Trump should have a bunch of horns just waiting for him to go, but more appropriate to who he is. And good to see you guys. Share the show, etc., etc. Okay, so where were we? Okay, there's a couple of fronts that where shit is breaking bad and breaking down in the world of Donald Trump's MAGA faithful, what's left of the MAGA faithful, the ones that aren't chewing themselves up fiercely, which is kind of adorable and hilarious. I just realized I need to find one more video that I was watching earlier that pointed to this same thing. Damn, I'm gonna have to hunt it down. It's gonna bug me. But the key to all of this is that you've got there's still this haunting Candace Owens horseshit that they're all having to deal with, on top of the kind of run-of-the-mill never letting go of the Epstein files that's been going on. So let me show you this. Oh, it's so good. There's so much shit. God damn. Did I open that one? Oh, yes, that's why. Yes, here it is. So we started... We started with the whole Candace Owens boring everyone to tears with her I guess if Russell Brand is the hippie Alex Jones, and Tucker Carlson is now the dweeb Alex Jones, and Jimmy Dore is the get off my lawn old farty version of Alex Jones. Everybody's trying to carve off their own chunk of this. I think Candace Owens is like the Queen Latifah Alex Jones on The Equalizer. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with some sort of analogy for her, but she's clearly. I mean, she is female and black, but I think those are the two least important parts of her identity to her. It's very hard to figure out with these folks. Like, I don't know if they're stiff arming who they are or embracing it from a different direction or whatever the fuck. Like, it's so funny. They're like, I'm against identity politics as a straight Christian, black woman, Republican, conservative, MAGA, America First person. Okay, it's like, do you ever get tired of having like a bunch of rubber stamps around so that when you're filling out a form, you can tell exactly everybody who you are? Just wha-pa, wha-pa, wha-pa. Like, all right. You know who I am? I'm Hal Sparks. Get used to it. Do I have some labels that people apply to me? I'm sure they do. Am I a Democrat? Yes, because I'm registered that way, and that's how I vote. Everything else, ask me my actual opinion on the actual shit. And don't feel like you can punch your way to the front of the line just using labels. Okay, somebody, what'd you leave in the Discord? Something got left in the Discord? I saw that, okay. By the way, we have a Discord, both a special one, just for the Patreon folks, and then we have a general one that you guys can use and that kind of stuff. If you've been hearing a lot about Patreon and it's getting this kind of bad rap as a haven for gamers and psychopaths, as if there's a difference, it's actually got some fairly cool shit in it, and we have a Friday Eye room and stuff where I can post AI links for people to try and shit like that, and we're working on building it out. So there you go. The CO screenshot and the extra. Yes, gotcha. So let me show you real quick where the right finds itself right now. Just to be clear, I'm very excited about this. Okay, so let's start here. Explaining Candace, Israel, and Charlie. I gotta tell you, if you're having to explain Candace Owens and what she's saying about Israel and Charlie Kirk, you're already losing. Megyn Kelly breaks down the controversy surrounding Candace Owens, Ackman, Israel, and Charlie Kirk. Break it down again. So those are my dreams. All right. This is it.
I'm going to lay out what happens, what's going on here with Candace, Bibi Netanyahu, and Bill Ackman.
Can you wait until I get a pillow? Because not only is this going to be a bunch of fucking right-wing infighting, confusing, crossing the streams, but I have no doubt you're going to dry the fuck out of this piece of chicken so that the rest of us give up on eating it halfway through. This is a key thing, and I don't know if you've noticed this on the right, when they like actively try to bore people with stuff that would, I gotta say, in theory, make great conspiratorial TV. But because it's their side and it's them, they're like, it's nothing. This is nothing. I mean, it's just a thing, and it's not a thing. I mean, there was a big fight, and there was a big, and then they did see each other at a party, and there was a woman screaming at Charlie Kirk, and he did offer him a bunch of money. But it's not a thing. Watch, you'll see.
Because it
By the way, also watch these three guys who have to just sit here and listen to this fucking woman unpack her suitcase.
It kind of leads up to something that happened between Charlie and me.
Kinda?
On this show about a month ago, August 6th.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, and the audience experienced this with me, so I'm just going to...
Yes, it was quite the experience. I feel like I've had experience. These are my experience. If you're experiencing it with us, feel free.
Set up what's happening.
Get ready for an experience.
So everybody understands. Bibi Netanyahu went on Fox News on...
Bibi Netanyahu a violent asshole, a war criminal. You could throw those in too. I mean, but yeah. Anyways, I don't want to slow your roll.
September 11th, the day after Charlie was shot, and commented on the loss of the man he said was his friend. And here's that in Sept.
He said was his friend.
One in part.
Was an extraordinary friend.
He, as the paper says right here in front of me, this is was given to this by one of our PR people to read, because never let the death of someone that Donald Trump thinks is more important than anyone else go I guess unexploited, or
he said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd.
I'm not going to read the whole letter. I'm going to read some some specific sentences while cutting out. Right.
This year, he said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization.
We'll talk about Judeo-Christian later, because not only is that not a thing, but it's also, especially in modern, just in Christianity in general, especially now. So, and it's not because Jews, it's because of Old Testament, but whatever.
A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend maybe the people that are talking about this Judeo-Christian stuff that maybe walk in his footsteps in your regular life and how you treat other people. Not saying that Charlie didn't. I'm just saying perhaps Fox viewers.
On the bond between America and Israel.
Okay, so
That's a lot.
Candace, who's been critical of Israel in this conflict,
Sure.
did not appreciate.
By the way, Candace is not critical of Israel. Candace is critical of the fucking Jews, like all of them, no matter where they are, almost especially the ones that are in the United States. So I'm critical of Israel. She just fucking dunking on Jews.
That we had a foreign leader.
Please come to Israel for the springtime. I thought the same fucking thing, Robin.
Reading part of Charlie's letter, trying to characterize his stance on Israel without giving it its full measure, because it had changed a bit in recent months.
No shit.
And she is not wrong about that.
Okay. She is not. She might be wrong about other things. This ain't it.
She responded on her show, and Candace was very good friends with Charlie. I mean, she called herself a Mason of Turning Point, and she is. She is.
By the way, she didn't mean Freemason. She means literally one of the people that put brick and mortar to the actual place, like a stonemason of it, whatever.
She helped build that group when she was coming up and Charlie was coming up, and they're both very young. They were out there at many events together before anybody knew the name Turning Point, or Charlie Kirk for that matter. And I was actually very moved by the video montage she showed of pictures of her and Charlie together and singing together and dancing, having a great time. They're young in this business and figuring things out. So I believe Candace
exploring each other's boundaries.
This is sincere in her upset around Charlie's everything. I mean, obviously around Charlie's death, but around people trying to talk for him and sort of summarize his position on something as controversial as Israel. So here's what she said. Again, in part, you should go watch her show to hear the full measure. But
I mean, you could, but
here is what she said in response to Netanyahu on her show just the other day. Sept 2.
No, there definitely is a little bit more to the.
I'm sorry. I gotta say, after the last couple of days of exploring the inner workings of the mind of Candace Owens, or lack thereof, I suppose, I can't help but laugh every time she starts talking about any topic now. It's because it's like every fucking thing is Jade Helm all the time.
Story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing.
And the timestamps for every sentence.
You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents, that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened.
This is getting really awkward over there. Also, I'd like to point out that I'm showing you guys this on a media dissection level and as an example of how look at Megyn Kelly's face right now. That she has to unpack this stuff again, not because we're watching this show, not because we give a fuck about the inner workings of whether or not they're on one side or the other, or you follow Candace Owens's fucking bullshit psycho timeline issues, and it has nothing to do with us. None of this has anything to do with the left or Democrats or the fucking liberals or whatever. She has to do this with these 3 dickheads sitting there with their thumb up their ass and break this shit down because they're getting like hate mail and their comment sections are fucking it's horrifying. Just so you know. So this idea, I think this also kind of pops that bullshit bubble that there's some sort of like unified right that we all have to be scared of, and that they're, like, oh my God, they're so great at messaging and we're not, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I've heard that bullshit so much that I want to dispel that by showing you how much fucking cleanup these assholes have to do amongst themselves every fucking day. And this is, by the way, not new. They were doing this before Charlie Kirk got shot, about the Epstein files, about Pam Bondi, which I'll show you that other part too, because like Trump and his flunkies cannot stop fucking up. They can't. It's so good. Explain how these guys are getting hate mail? Yes. Yeah, they're all getting like hateful comments and hate mail about why they're covering for Israel because Candace says the Jews are behind the killing of Charlie Kirk and the shooter's not the shooter, and then also where are the Epstein files, and it's all concocted. Like, they're getting barraged by this shit. Otherwise, why the fuck would she go through this? Why? Who cares? She's got her show on. Candace Owens does. Megan's got her show. Like, they're all they could just let it sit there. But she's got to address it while these other dudes just sit there like assholes. Because if she doesn't, tomorrow is day 10 of hate mail and shitty comments on all of her channels and the viewership going down. It's fucking crazy.
So she's basically suggesting he's leaving out an important piece of Charlie's evolution on Israel. She went on to talk about, and this is the first I had heard this news, a meeting that Charlie had at the home of Bill Ackman in the Hamptons on October 5th. August 5th. With a bunch of influencers, as it was described by Bill Ackman later, some of whom
get on with it,
he said were pro-Israel, and some of whom he said maybe not so much. And there was a meeting at Bill Ackman's Hamptons home. Charlie was there. So were some other so-called influencers.
So-called. Fuck you. So-called. At this billionaire's house. Okay. Sorry. There was a man of the people meeting for America First at a Hamptons home of a billionaire who funds all this shit. Okay, please continue.
And Candace suggests that at that meeting, Bill Ackman pressured Charlie.
She didn't suggest it. She says it. And she says that what she suggests is that definitely happened. And the reason he's dead is because he didn't take them up on their offer.
He was very supportive of Israel. Do not get me wrong. I mean, I know. I spoke with Charlie directly about this. But he was starting to have the same doubts, questions about whether this could continue without Israel losing all of its support in the world.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. It was also the morality of the actual acts that they were doing that he was starting to question, and rightly so.
As I was. And he and I had a long talk about our frustration at being dubbed anti-Zionist or anti-Israel or anti-Semites even, just for...
I'd like to remind you, she's getting text messages. This isn't even, this goes beyond fucking comment sections. People she knows are texting her, you fucking anti-Semite, just so you know. Around, you'll see.
Those very mild criticisms. I mean, my God, it was fucked up, okay? It really was. And he was...
I gotta say, Potty Mouth Megan is my favorite Megan.
Frustrated by that, and so was I. Now, Candace had a different characterization of that meeting than the one you're going to hear from Bill Ackman.
Really?
And hers dovetails with this reporter, Max Blumenthal, who also reported on the meeting. Here's what she said, again, in part, in SOT 4, where she said they had this meeting, and she suggested that meeting with Bibi occurred while Charlie was at that meeting at Bill Ackman's house in the Hamptons.
A couple of weeks ago, before Charlie...
A couple of weeks ago, according to my timeline. Like what?
Lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons.
As you do. You know. I mean, who among us doesn't just find themselves in the Hamptons?
And he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman. Because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie...
Was it a big no-no or a little no-no? I mean, I don't understand this political jargon.
He was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was...
Yes, his quote-unquote friends who are quote-unquote influencers.
Is very upset. And threats were made. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say.
Of course you would say.
And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Bibi would fund it, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel.
Okay, here's more.
Okay, there's so much to this. There's so much. Yeah, so by the way, in case you're just catching up, allegedly, according to all this, that Bill Ackman, I guess, and Netanyahu were either in the Hamptons or on the phone or both there or somebody else, and they cornered Charlie Kirk and they were going to offer him $150 million, right? And he turned it down. That's the idea that happened, that Charlie Kirk said, no, I'm not going to change what I'm saying about Israel. I'm not going to take your money. We're fine. We're not going to take foreign money because blah, blah, blah. Like, he did the upstanding thing about this. And the assumption is from Candace Owens is that that's actually who Charlie Kirk, the dead guy, Emo Vulcan. So the idea is that this is that they had him done in, that the trans thing is just a boondoggle to kind of like red meat to throw at maggots because they know they'll go for it and spend so much time on it. and because it's the perfect cover for a Jewish conspiracy to murder Charlie Kirk because he was insufficiently sales friendly to the narrative that Bibi Netanyahu wanted to do. So he turned down $150 million, so Netanyahu had him snuffed. That's what she's implying through all of this shit. That's where Candace Owens is. And I'm not fucking kidding you. Yeah, so Bibi killed Kirk. I know, it's absolute fucking, like, maniacally insane bullshit. But that's what she's selling. That Candace is not even, she's barely tap dancing around the edges of it. That is the theory. And that theory is gaining so much fucking ground on the right that Megyn Kelly is having to do a video with her guests sitting there like a bunch of dipshits, completely silent, explaining it away. Just so you know. And you thought you had fucking problems. Imagine getting up when you're Megyn Kelly and going to work over the last couple of days and knowing that you are going to have to, like, pull back your maggot crowd from the cliff of the Jews killed Charlie. Because there are teams of horses pulling them to that cliff, and Candace Owens is fucking up there with a whip driving them as fast as she can. I'm telling you, this is fucking crazy. And that's why she has to do this. Right? Okay. Which is, by the way, fantastic. A man was killed. That's very fucking sad. And that should be the end of it. And try to find justice. And if you find out afterwards that there was hinky stuff in the trial and evidence disappears and the guy gets off and then he takes a trip and then suddenly there's a guy that looks just like him living in Jerusalem or something, then come after me with your fucking, Area 51, after story. But Jesus Christ, it just fucking happened. And they're already chewing the shit out of each other. The liberals are easier to sell. That's the thing, Terrible Times. They're not. You'd think so. You'd think it this is a fucking slam dunk for them. And we'll get to who and by the way, I will stand by my rationalism adjacent trans third position, closer to accelerationist Antifa crowd than to either political party that's more than likely around the ideology that drove this to do this, if indeed, because it's alleged. He's been formally charged, but not found guilty. So, but I'll stand by that as it goes forward. But this is fucking choice. This is so good.
More. This Max Blumenthal,
who is a douchebag.
He writes for his own outlet called Gray Zone. He used to work for the Daily Beast and The Nation.
And now he's just in Putin's pocket for a living.
Media Matters, which explains why in his reporting he referred to me as an anti-Zionist. Wrong, Max. I'm totally a Zionist. I completely believe in Israel's right to exist, and I've defended their right to defend themselves after the disgusting, horrendous...
Maybe it was a typo. Maybe he considered you an anti-Zionist, which I think is probably what he thinks, but I don't give a shit. So
terrorist attack on them in 2023. So get it straight. But
yeah, okay. But I'm still going to even though you're totally wrong about that, I'm going to source you for this.
Event. He too reported that the Ackman outing was an intervention he used, during which sources say he and others hammered Charlie, that Charlie came away fretting about Israeli blackmail. He says he's spoken to 5 people with intimate knowledge of Kirk's meeting.
By the way, blackmail? Did they have something on Charlie Kirk? Do any of these motherfuckers know what these words mean? What you mean is extortion or bribery. Can I just, you dumbass? And please, if you're insisting, even if you throw fucking bribery around, you got to at least share something you think that's bribable about this fucking dude. It's extortion is what you're talking about. Just use the right word for shit.
And that that he alleged that Ackman personally confronted Kirk about his views on Israel. An unknown British woman joined in the argument and began screaming at Charlie.
That's probably Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, she's probably on work release. Yeah. Ackerman and hired her, to run the parties at the house.
When his host presented him with a detailed list of every offense he supposedly committed against Israel, Charlie was horrified, said one person. Ackman also allegedly demanded that Kirk rescind his invitation for Tucker Carlson to speak at his upcoming America Fest 2025 in December. Ackman, he came under fire.
Yeah, there's also a thing about he had Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson at the TPUSA America First gathering, and that's the other reason why. Yeah, Timu Mossad killed Charlie. Yeah, that's basically where we are right now. God damn.
Too, because he had tweeted out recently, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk in the summer. He was a giant of a man. And once again, Candace and others suggesting that that's not the whole story, because if he really was threatening Charlie, that's a weird tweet, an incomplete tweet.
Right. Well, maybe they can, now that he's dead, they've agreed to disagree.
Now, Bill Ackman responds, as only Bill Ackman can. We'd be here for another 3 hours if I read you his whole response. As you guys know, the Ackman tweets are just legendary for their 49 paragraphs minimum. But this one deserved a bit of a response because he's being accused of something pretty vile. And he described these accounts as totally false. I think I can easily put this to bed. He promised I have receipts as they...
So gray zone bullshit, Candace Owens bullshit, just so you know, just in case you're keeping score. Everybody who said that Ackerman's guests yelled at Charlie Kirk about his support for Israel or lack thereof is full of shit. That's where she's going with this, just so you know.
He did
not, because none of us give a fuck about any of these people.
Not abide when asked to provide the so-called receipts, reports Max Blumenthal. But Ackman did go on X and said, I've been slandered by Candace Owens. She'll be responding, I'm sure, shortly.
I'm very excited. I'm waiting with bated breath. I can only imagine how riveting the fucking programming will be of her responding to a billionaire donor fucking on the right.
Of staging an intervention with Charlie in which threats were made.
Shit.
He says it's not true. At no time have I ever threatened Charlie, Turning Point, or anyone associated with him. I've never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie. I've never offered Charlie or Turning Point any money in an attempt to influence them. I can...
Also, I just notice, it's good they're keeping all three of these guys up there so they can all look as confused at this shit as we all are. This is a 20-minute video. I'm not doing all of it. I am not. I'm just telling you, she broke this shit down for 20 minutes while these motherfuckers are just sitting there.
Connected with Charlie when he had DM'd me in late May of this year and expressed interest in meeting me. On the Zoom, he explained to me that conservatives, in particular young ones, were getting tired of defending Israel, and this was very concerning to him. He suggested, Bill Ackman says, Charlie, that recruiting a group of junior Charlie Kirks who could
oh my God.
host open mic sessions on college campuses would be an effective way to encourage debate on a host of issues, an approach he believed to be worthy of consideration and better enable students to get to the truth.
Gee, now she's got me missing fucking Ben Shapiro reading from his goddamn laptop or Benny Johnson reading tweets from other people on the fucking screen.
I was interested in learning more. We scheduled a series of conference calls between Turning Point staff members and members of my team, and then we assembled this diverse group of influencers for a day and a half session. We chose the afternoon of August 4th to the afternoon of August 5th for the convening.
That's just for Candace's timeline.
Charlie members of my team worked to put together.
That's not a bad idea. I feel like while she's talking,
I offered to host the sessions so that I could attend some. Charlie sent out the invitations. About 35 or so influencers accepted. Charlie and Turning Point put together the agenda. Some were critical of Israel, some were supportive. At the end, I sat with Charlie and members of my team. We discussed the events of the evening. Charlie believed he had identified a number of potential Turning Point ambassadors who could launch open mic events on campus and would then follow up with them. We agreed to keep in touch thereafter. We corresponded by text over the next few weeks. This was not an intervention to blackmail Charlie into adopting certain views on Israel. It was nothing of the sort. Candace did respond in part on X last night, saying, I know feigning victimhood is kind of an Israeli brand thing, but I was clear that Charlie felt blackmailed by the offer to fund TPUSA, which he refused, meaning from Netanyahu, I think she means here. No one said Bill Ackman blackmailed Charlie. Try to resist the urge to rewrite history. And she goes on saying people in attendance did characterize it as an intervention. Here is where I'm going with it. Oh, and by the way, I should mention, this is important. Andrew Colvett, who is Charlie's right-hand man at Turning Point, we know him well, wrote the following. I've been asked about this weekend event with Bill Ackman more than a few times now, so I asked our staff who were traveling with Charlie to find out what's true. His team was with him 100% of the time when he was not in his hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on Bibi, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at the Student Action Summit. We don't believe this came from Bill. And Charlie's reply was, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker. And I am going to lock him in for AmFest too. Charlie personally told me, says Andrew, he had a very cordial relationship with Bill and the event was productive. Those are the facts. Well, here is the reason I am weighing in. I wasn't there and I don't know what happened.
Sorry. God damn. After all that, there is no greater quote than this. Wait, listen.
Well, here is the reason I am weighing in. I wasn't there and I don't know what happened. But the
Well, thank God we tuned in. What the shit is fucking... Why? Why? Ugh. Okay, so... she eventually... whatever. Okay, did these guys say anything? No, okay. So she plays a clip of when Charlie Kirk was on her show the day after this meeting. After all this.
day Charlie was done with that summit at
Day after, but
Ackman's house, he came on my show. It was his
the 6th. They finished that day. It was the 4th and 5th was the thing. So why do I have to know this shit?
last appearance on the Megyn Kelly show on August 6th. And I asked him about his evolving views on Israel and about the criticism we both had come under for, honestly, like the most milquetoast criticisms of Israel. It was just crazy.
Truer words were never said.
I don't think Charlie actually even really did criticize Israel. I think he just hosted his Turning Point event in July.
Yes, but obviously you got two big people. Like, I'm fairly certain he was probably this close to inviting Candace Owens to come to the next one.
In which he had tons of pro-Israel people, tons. But also Dave Smith was there, who's a critic, and Tucker was there.
He's a critic.
Who's become a bit of a critic.
A bit of a critic. You mean the two guys that think the Ukraine started the fucking war and they deserve it?
A critic.
And we should leave them to be slaughtered? Those two assholes?
And he got so much shit for this. And Charlie was really frustrated by this and annoyed because...
Now, I got a trigger warning, everybody, coming up, because I know what clip she's talking about here with her and him on there, because I think we almost did this clip back then, but other shit happened, so we didn't. And you're going to find yourself agreeing with Charlie Kirk and the issue that he has with the criticisms that came his way about it. Yeah, sorry.
No young person, no person under 30 in America supports Israel. They just don't. Look at the polls. It doesn't matter whether you're conservative or not. Like, virtually none of them. And that...
Gee, wonder how that happened.
...was Charlie's constituency. And Charlie was hearing from those people that they were not into this, and they really weren't into our support for the war in Iran and bombing Iran and all that. And he was trying to find a way of bringing that to President Trump. And
then he brought it to President Trump, and President Trump said, go back and sell this to your audience, and he did. Sorry, it's like the Epstein stuff. He caught a bunch of shit from his audience about Epstein, and then and then when the stuff came out, I was like, I'm done talking about it.
Bringing that to his donors and to everybody else to say, hey,
By the way, which he rolled back the next day because they wouldn't give up.
You know, you might be losing some support here.
Are the guys allowed to talk? No, the future is female, everybody. Megyn Kelly just brings on 3 men that have to sit there and be cucked. Just kidding. I don't know. I suppose they contribute at some point, but it is particularly spectacular that they're just sitting there just...
Said the same, and both of us got treated like we are Mehdi Hassan.
Ouch. No, you were treated like a vaguely brown person? Oh, no.
And we were annoyed.
I couldn't imagine after all you put your hair through.
We were both annoyed by that. So we had the conversation. I did not tell Charlie we were going to discuss it. Usually when guests are coming on the show, we'll give them a heads up, like...
Oh, yeah. No, we understand. You get your message together. By the way, I'd like to remind everyone that when I'm on a show, not only do I not request to know what we're going to talk about, if they suggest anything, I don't read it. I don't prep for my, when I'm a guest on shows, ask anybody. Because I'm there because I know what I'm talking about, and I don't care what the fuck you bring up. I can respond with logic and reason and caring and humor and wit and all those things. That because I don't need a fucking walker, okay? Which obviously her guests do, except these 3 guys who I guess got a note that just said zip it.
In case they want to study up on something, whatever. Like these are probably generally the 8 to 10 topics we're going to hit. And we did not give him heads up on this because I didn't even tell my team on it. I just decided to do it. And here is a chunk of how that went. And something's happening, though, with this whole debate that is really bothering me, and I wonder if you're feeling it too. My contention here is that some in the pro-Israel camp are so knee-jerk about calling you anti-Semitic or getting deeply offended if you say anything that doesn't align with their narrative, that it undermines their own cause. And I have to tell you, I find it very irritating.
I'm so glad you brought this up, and I would second that. Megyn, I think I have a bulletproof resume showing my defense of Israel, both on campus, on social media, to great, let's just say mockery and scorn at times because I believe it, right? I believe in the scriptural land rights given to Israel. I believe in fulfillment of prophecy.
Yeah, about that. Just for the record, so does Marjorie Taylor Greene's crowd and the fucking CrossFit Christians and all those folks. What does that mean, the fulfillment of prophecy? What does that mean? That means the Jews get to return to the land of Israel and claim this as their land so that when Jesus returns, he can sit on a throne and judge them all and have them killed. For real. That rapture evangelical crowd is pro-Israel because they view that as the ultimate concentration camp. I'm not fucking kidding. How else would you describe it? Round them all up until they can all be wiped out. So when he says that, you have to understand, this isn't about like, I want them to know that I believe it. I'm supportive of, the Jewish people and their right to a homeland. That's not what he's talking about. That's and it's one of the more fucked up parts of the link between like the Israeli government and the Israelis themselves and Jews that want to be there and the evangelicals. This is not true of everybody. This is not true of the fucking Lutherans. It's not true of the Presbyterians or most Protestants. It's true of the evangelicals specifically and their offshoots, some like fucking off the charts Baptists and shit like that. The prophecy is, that's what Armageddon is. Armageddon is that fucking mountain up on, near Israel where God will sit and judge the Jews and they'll all be wiped out. And if they don't all admit that he's the fucking Messiah on the return, they get killed physically in this world, and I would presume go to hell afterwards. So there's nothing magnanimous about what he just said. For the record, it's amazingly fucked up. Just to clarify.
And again, I'm not a theologian, but I'm a Christian. My life was changed in Israel. The spiritual energy is so amazing there. I want them to win. I've said that repeatedly.
Because they have to for Bible prophecy to be carried out, which includes all the Jews being killed because they didn't accept Jesus Christ the first time. And when he comes back the second time, he's going to be pissed and packing an Uzi.
Same.
And however, Megan, you're hitting on something very potent and important. Now, let me first say, I don't want to judge an entire group because there's been many people in the pro-Israel world that have been very sweet, very kind, very nuanced, very Charlie, you know, you're with us, you don't have to agree all the time. However, and I will say this,
And I want you to look at his reaction, and I want you guys to know, like, the storyline that you heard about the right support of Israel or whatever, and the left support of Israel, and this kind of crisscross anti-Semitism problem that was allegedly spreading across the entire swath of people while they were criticizing Israel and that kind of stuff, that probably most of you did not know, that on the right, there's an even more virulent, genuine anti-Semitism that was blowing up, and a like proto-Zionist response to that borderline, if not full-blown neo-Nazi response. Just telling you, like, you guys need to know, like, this. It's part of the thing that annoys me is this myth that they've got it together and we're a mess. That Democrats in disarray and all this shit, whereas the right has their messaging together and they're all. And I don't know. Listen to what he says about the messages, not in comment sections, not on message boards or on fucking Discord. Listen.
behavior by a lot, both privately and publicly, are
Both privately and publicly.
pushing people like you and me away. Not like we're going to be pro-Hamas, not
No.
like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. I am learning biblical
ridiculous.
Hebrew and writing a book on the Shabbat. I honor the Shabbat, literally the Jewish Sabbath. I visit Israel and fight for it.
It's very
It is-
irritating.
it's
It's been
almost as
so
if
unfair.
you-
They were coming after you.
Look at this. They're talking over each other. Why? Because they're both getting the same fucking messages. They're being called anti-Semites by people around them, and this is what led up to the idea that that they're later bribed or fucking extorted or whatever to be more pro-Israel at the same time. Part of it is the people that they work with all the fucking time, and he's not talking about like people in Israel sending him a fucking message. He's talking about Americans here, fucking staff members of Lindsey Graham and people like that. Just so you know, like, okay.
A turning point for, among other
Oh,
things,
it's
that
so-
you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to
Questioning my-
criticize Israel. You had both sides.
Look at their emotional reaction to this. I'm not kidding. Pay attention. Think about, like, when's the last time you saw either of them this up in arms about anything? Even when they're talking, when either of them would talk about people on the left and something they were against and fucking Black Lives Matter, whatever their fucking was stuck in their craw, they don't get this verklempt about the whole thing, to borrow a phrase. Like, they don't get that upset about that shit. They're talking about how their own side is attacking them, like, personally. They're getting text messages.
The Israeli side was
You're not allowed to,
overrepresented.
though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question.
Yeah, did you hear that? That's the shift since the response to October 7th and Donald Trump giving Netanyahu the ability to run roughshod over the people of Gaza and the Palestinians there and Palestinians in the West Bank and all this kind of stuff. And the difference, if Harris had won, Charlie Kirk would be alive. For real. And I know everybody's like, what moral character? He's got a line apparently, and a lot of it has to do with how far they are, he's willing to let Israel go or Netanyahu go doing what they're doing in Gaza. And that's why he had Dave Smith on, who's been very critical. It's why he brought on Tucker Carlson, but I think he brought on Tucker Carlson because of fucking star power money and the fact that, he's pro-Russia. But the reason they do have a line with Israel, and they crossed it. And so the mythology, the conspiracy theory that is happening around all this, look at the blowback. Understand, and look, you've got to take very seriously what, and take what they're saying with a grain of salt at the same time. That you don't have to trust what they're saying, except that know that they are not talking to us. They are not saying this to convince Democrats who might be watching the show. This is an argument they are having in public about right-wing backers of Israel and Donald Trump that are in their circle that are throwing them shit for not being 100% on board with everything Netanyahu is doing. And look at their reaction.
You're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper-paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
Yeah.
So
and it's offensive. It's offensive to those of us who have been out there defending them in many instances against critics on our own side.
Mm-hmm. I'm just, do you see, okay, chat room, do you see why I'm sharing this with you? Because I want to burst that bubble that makes everybody feel like they're alone in their belief systems, or that there's a direct separation between right and left these days and we're so fucking divided, when in reality, these assholes are having to spackle holes in, that are being, in their foundation, that are being chipped away at by their own side about these very same issues, coming to the very same conclusions. There's a lot of bipartisan or cross-partisan shit happening. There's a lot of agreement. And one of the reasons they think, like, oh shit, they set up this trans person to kill him and all this blah, blah, blah. The reason they need to focus on that is because they know there's a lot of this crisscross. They know there's a bridge to be made, and they can't allow it. All right, let me show you the other part. So that happened, and that's just an example of where the fucking Candace Owens shit is going. Now, I'm going to show you, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy. This is Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is the guy, I think he's on the Daily Wire or whatever, and he's the guy who did the What is a Woman documentary, the anti-trans documentary, this asshole, which, by the way, I got to say, his logo looks like two gay triangles, like just different colors. Matt doing this MW thing that they slide, whatever. Anyways, yeah, so this fucking dude, in case you don't know who he is. This is a segment from his most recent show. And the title of this segment is, because they chapter these things out, I'm telling you, this title is the title of the channel, like, it's very small title. Can you see the title of that? The title of this segment is Pam Bondi is Canceled. This is fucking... What is a woman, Matt Walsh... right? Pam Bondi is canceled. Why? For the same reason a bunch of other people are flipping out.
We're going to go right from the opening to the cancellation today. It'll be a slightly abbreviated show. And I want to talk about this. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was one of the most direct and consequential attacks on the freedom of speech in American history.
Again, no, it wasn't. Unless you let it be.
Regardless of your political beliefs, that's undeniable.
It was an attempt. It doesn't have to be successful. That would make it the most consequential one. If it had consequences because you get less free speech after his death, then whose fucking fault is that? We'll get to it.
For Christians and conservatives in particular, the assassination was the latest and most horrifying of many, many recent efforts to undermine our fundamental civil liberties.
Oh, you mean like the dude who shot up the CDC and because he bought into right-wing propaganda about the fucking vaccines? Who killed the black cop? Who's, by the way, the guy's last name was White. The shooter. Weird. Anyways.
Christians have been arrested.
I can understand why you might ignore
For
that.
praying peacefully outside of abortion clinics. They've been punished for refusing to bake cakes for gay weddings.
Yes, it's basically the same as walking from your car to your job at the CDC and having to duck for cover.
Using to fund contraceptives for employees. And now, in a very public fashion, one of the most prominent Christian voices in the country was gunned down for expressing his political views and his faith.
And the answer to that from the right wing is good. You're right. Let's end free speech.
Now, in the wake of Charlie's murder, I said something that I still believe is true. I still very much believe, which is that on the right, and only on the right, now is the time for unity.
Now, why would he have to say that? You wouldn't have to call for unity if it was already happening, right? Right? Why would you have to make a call for unity if that was the natural reaction?
And I say only on the right because that's the only place where there can be unity. There cannot be unity with the left. It is.
Yes, we call that democracy, and obviously Democrats are for democracy, and you can't have that happen because if you guys had to compete on actual policy, you lose every time. You're worse on the economy, you're worse on social programs and support for the entire structure of the United States, you're worse on technology.
Literally impossible.
Literally not. Unless you're an extremist asshole, in which case you're not just say you're against America.
They want us dead. They want to kill us. And
do they? They do? They do? Dude, I don't want you dead. I'm perfectly happy with you being alive and an asshole.
Even if they didn't, we have nothing in common in terms.
We have nothing in common. Yes, you guys. You guys want horse and carriage, and we want electric cars, and you guys want coal mines and the end of public education, and we want spaceships. It's irreconcilable. Have fun being a Neanderthal, you fucking nerd.
Of our values and beliefs and priorities.
Which are what? Pretend to be Christian? You're right. I find that offensive.
We have no common ground at all. None.
Okay, I think your viewers feel better now because you're about to say something that probably makes your side look bad, I guess. And so you're having to say this because it seems like Milady doth protest too much.
We cannot agree on even what universe we live in.
Well, I mean, does it really matter what the name of the universe is? I mean, we're in the Milky Way. This is planet Earth. It's round. Can we just start there? We can't agree on what universe. Yes, this is Earth, 461 in the Marvel MCU?
But on the right, there needs to be unity. We have to put aside any internal squabbling or vendettas that we might have on our own.
Sorry, what? You guys have vendettas?
One side, and we have to focus instead on crushing left-wing extremism, including the cult of trans ideology. We have to.
How are you going to crush left-wing extremism if regular order left people are you treat them just as badly? It's like silly.
Pursue the billionaires who fund this extremism, the NGOs.
Oh, like Bill Ackman and never mind.
That launder the billionaires' money, the doctors and hospitals that mutilate patients for ideological and financial reasons. This has to be a coordinated and focused effort.
Yes, I've often thought that the left-wing insistence that everybody keep their gallbladder, even if it's no longer functioning, is just something we've got to get over. It's just traditional Marxism in the operating room just does not work. The gallbladder shall serve the people, and the people shall demand the power of the gallbladder.
There's no room for any distraction or counter-signaling.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of distraction and counter-signaling on your side? That's yes. Yeah, I've noticed that.
It's not an easy task. Our opponents are extremely well-funded, very powerful. They
Well, thank you very much. I don't think I'm extremely well-funded, although super chats do help. And you can buy me a cup of coffee. That's it. I'm not, we're not extremely well-funded at all.
But if we cannot accomplish this, then very soon the right to freedom of speech will become a dead letter. If it's
oh dear,
not already, the collapse of our constitutional order will follow. And therefore, a unified right is more important than it's ever been if we're going to have any chance of victory. Now, at the same time,
victory in I'm going to go with I was going to say Hilton, but I take it back. That looks like a Holiday Inn curtain to me. Also, why are you so jammed in the fucking corner? What is happening in that hotel room that you're that jammed up against the wall? I don't understand. Maybe I don't want to know. Is this like the Matt Walsh version of a Diddy party?
Unity isn't possible if some conservatives, particularly conservatives in positions of power, don't grasp the fundamental goals of our movement.
Sorry, conservatives don't grasp the fundamental goals of your movement. Hey, asshole, then what would make them conservatives? I would think that the fundamental part is where the name comes from, yeah? You guys have fucking problems.
And that's why, although it's obviously not an ideal
obviously
situation, I wish we didn't have to do this right now.
Well, you do, I guess.
We do need to talk at some length about the recent remarks of Pam Bondi, the attorney.
Oh, but she's perfect. You know, well, she's second to perfect. Obviously, Matt Gaetz, the fucking sex trafficking buddy of Joel Greenberg, who allegedly dosed underage girls, flew them out of states for sex while they were on drugs, was your first choice for AG. But your second choice, I mean, according to Trump, she's perfect. So I don't even know how you're allowed to criticize her, but I guess go for it. I don't even know if it's going to stick, though.
In general, particularly what she said on a podcast hosted by Katie Miller, who's the wife.
Stephen Miller's Elon adjacent wife.
Of top White House advisor Stephen Miller.
And sex toy of Elon Musk, allegedly.
Now, you may have seen portions of this interview online, but I'm going to play footage with some more context. Put bluntly, these remarks, along with her job performance in other areas, disqualify Pam Bondi from serving as the Attorney General of the United States. They make it.
No, they don't, actually. Only Trump can get rid of her, and he's sticking by her. So he happens to think, fucknut, that she is doing the job he wants her to do. So, I don't know. I guess he's not aware of the fundamental goals of your movement.
Very clear that she is not equipped to lead the war on left-wing domestic terrorism that must urgently be waged. And when I talked about unifying on the right, I did, as you remember, make an explicit exception for politicians and public officials. And this is why we still need to be able to criticize them when they drop the ball. And Pam Bondi is dropping the ball egregiously.
I don't know. I think I got to say, you need to show me the fucking play. Maybe this is the fumble on purpose play, because it very well could be. This is a great distraction. You're not talking about the Epstein files right now, are you, fuckhead? Nope.
So here's the footage. Watch.
By the way, this is so fucking good, because it triggered a bunch of other people too. And again, that's Stephen Miller's wife. Ugh.
Universities are complicit in allowing conservatives to be harassed on campus. And what happens when you allow a university to harass conservatives and don't expel or don't take an action is what happened last week.
It is, and you know, on a broader level, the anti-Semitism, what's been happening at college campuses around this country is disgusting. It's
disgusting. I swear to God.
Despicable, and we've been fighting that. We've been fighting these
fighting it. Just fighting it, fighting it. Not actually solving for the actual problem itself, but just like putting it down is what you mean. But anyways,
universities left and right, and we're not going to stop. There's free speech, and then there's hate speech.
Oh, shit. Ah, God. Mwah. All right. I got to tell you, that little bit of linguistic turding in the punch bowl, can you imagine if Harris had said this on the campaign trail, what their reaction would be? It ain't that different from her saying it. Ugh. Check this out.
And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Well, fuck you, you commie. Wait.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech.
Oh my God. Like, think about what they said about Biden and Harris, right? Think about the whole fucking dipshitty preamble that Walsh just fucking floated leading up to this. My fucking God, right? They're going to start putting... Stephen Miller's wife just asked, are you going to start throwing cuffs? Fuck me. Throwing fucking cuffs on people for hate speech to show them you mean business. Just fucking wow.
Anything, and that's across the aisle.
The hate speech pro Trump or anti-Trump, I guess. So I guess if you attack Democrats, I guess. Right? Maybe she was going to throw cuffs on fucking Kash Patel for the shit he was throwing around during his hearing this week.
I mean, look what happened. Think about Josh Shapiro. What happened to Governor Shapiro? I talked to Josh multiple times. Democrat governor, Jewish. They firebombed his house.
Yeah, but they did it with actual incendiary devices, not just words. But please... While I don't want to get in the way of you digging a fucking hole.
While his wife and children were sleeping upstairs, it's a miracle. Nothing worse happened to. It's a miracle that nothing happened to Josh and he and his family are safe.
This should not need to be said.
Yeah, but it does.
But the concept of hate speech should never be invoked.
Never. Never. It must not. What? You tell him, Captain Butch. Okay. Let me tell you something. Difference between a regular crime and a hate crime. The reason why a hate crime is a real thing is because just like the laws about if you kill a police officer, you're more likely to kill another police officer or a member of the public because you have a wanton disregard for human life. And if you're willing to kill somebody who's an armed representative of the state, then you're more likely to kill any other person in the same uniform. So you're a threat to the community on a grander scale than if you had a problem with fucking Dave and you shot Dave and that's over now. There's a chance you could be rehabbed and go. The chance of you running into another perfect storm like you and Dave had is slimmer than if you shot Dave because he was Hispanic. And hate speech, everybody should be allowed to say whatever the fuck they want. If they get fired for it, that's their ass, because their company doesn't have to have you representing them if you're hateful, right? That's not on them. Get your own fucking job. Build your own company. Open up hate cakes and shut the fuck up. right? But if you get fired for doing that, that's your business has that right because they have free speech too. They don't have to fucking suck up to, to every hate group by keeping you in there. That's not their gig. They want to sell to as many people as possible, and if you're interfering with that, go fucking pound sand. All right. So hate speech itself, I don't believe should be a crime, and you should not be able to arrest someone for anything they say, and certainly not harm anybody physically for that either. However, if in the future you do, they should be able to look back at what you said online or in private and say, oh, okay, this isn't about Dave because Dave's an asshole like you're saying now, and your lawyer's telling us, we looked at what you were talking about, and you talked about how Dave was Jewish all the time. And it seems to me that you would probably do this to any Jew you came across, so therefore you should be sentenced accordingly. Does that make sense? So hate speech shouldn't get you in trouble unless they look back at it after you've committed a violent crime and go, oh, okay, you committed a hate crime based on your attitudes about this group of people because you attacked one of the representatives, and therefore you should be sentenced to longer time than us pretending you just beat some stranger up on the street. Do you understand? Because you're more of a fucking threat to other people in that group because you attacked one randomly. That's why it matters. Otherwise, it's just a fight and shit went south and you should go to jail for the length of time appropriate to that assault or that crime that you committed. Does it make sense? Okay. So yes, hate speech and hate crimes have value in sentencing someone because it goes to motive and how likely they are to reoffend. But this motherfucker wants it completely out of the conversation. Why is that? Because he knows if you do and you start looking back at what people have said online, there's a lot more right-wingers that have committed violent acts when you look back at their social media history or their fucking Discord servers and all that kind of shit than there are on the left. Even the far left. Okay, so, anyways, fuck this dude. He's not the only one freaking out about it, though. The hippie Alex Jones over here, Rusty Trombone, who looks like microwave Jesus right now, has a episode called "Wait, they actually said this? Hypocritical, eh?
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech.
And jumps right in with this clip. It starts with the Pam Bondi clip.
If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that.
Free speech. Do you care about free speech, or do you just care about not being offended or winning arguments?
I don't know. Is it hate speech to bring up your full rape charges in London and your full rape charges in Los Angeles? Because I fucking hate you. But does that qualify as hate speech? It's the big question, innit?
Offended and just winning arguments. Those are motivations that are quite common. Let's have a look at the free speech argument now and how it's being impacted.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech.
Wait a minute. No, there isn't. There's just free speech. Hate speech. You know when, like, there has to be...
By the way, just so you know, like Charlie Kirk, Russell Brand views himself as a representative of Christianity, a proselytizer, a true evangelical.
Some sort of terrible legislation, and they give it a nice name, like the Patriot Act. You know, you've got to like the Patriot Act, haven't you? What are you, not a patriot? Well, what is the Patriot Act? We're going to be spying on you and controlling you, you patriot. So... yeah,
Democrats saw right through that name and were against it. by and large, especially the voters. And a lot of right-wing voters, I think, at the time were paranoid about it and saw that as a giveaway. What the fuck does that have to do with the phrase hate speech? Except that, whatever.
What do you think's going on with hate speech?
I think it's a concern about a warning where the potential for just like criticism or racist speech. What they mean is racist speech or bigoted speech specifically that can lead to violent acts or inciting other people to violence. The mid-level stuff where you're not actually saying, I think those people should be rounded up and beat up and you should go do it, but that isn't it about time someone showed them, right? That's the realm of it. Still not illegal, but you can be fired for it because, again, it's not your job, it's your boss's job.
Hate speech is a way of ensuring that free speech, which is palpably and tangibly a good, necessary, and constitutional matter, can be besmirched.
And
sorry, the act of besmirching someone else's speech is also free speech, dumb fuck.
there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people? So,
by the way, that's the key. Like, Pam Bondi's getting a lot of fucking attention about this whole thing, but I want you to understand that last fucking sentence coming from Stephen Miller's fucking wife and Elon Musk's alleged side piece at the same time. Do you think it's time to start putting cuffs on people who, in the name of free speech or in the name of hate speech, so that we can show them we mean business?
we show them that some action is better than no action.
We will absolutely target you.
Target you. Again, imagine this conversation if Harris and Walsh had been on a show and they were chatting about this and said these exact same words, not a variation, but these exact same words. There wouldn't be this like, oh, is that really free speech? I don't know. The thumbnails would all be like pictures of Harris in a fucking Nazi uniform and Walsh dressed like Mussolini.
Go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
Look, this is, again, why I love the Lord. I started to...
You love the Lord, do you? You got a lot more lords in England. The Lord?
feel this, when it came to, say, one of the most controversial issues of our time, it's less controversial now, I suppose, but say trans issues and trans rights, didn't you sort of feel somewhere within you, there must be a principle that can help me here. There must be a principle that can help me here. Oh yeah, here it is. Love one another. Kindness. Okay, so where am I on the love one another and kindness scale? If I'm loving people and I'm being kind, can I use that to help me with any and all cultural and identity issue? Yeah. There's a person over there, they're a Jew. Love one another. There's a person over there, they're a Muslim. Love one another. There's a person over there, they've said something mean about trans people. Love one another. There's a person over there, is a Jew.
Wow, hold on one second. It wasn't the trans people you were like, there's a trans person over there, love one another. It was like the person who said something mean about trans people. That's a weird fucking dodge. Why did that one have all these fucking barnacles on it?
Trans person, love one another. There's a person over there making offensive remarks about Charlie Kirk's murder. Love one another. That's it. You don't kind of decide. Once I saw Ben Shapiro in some sort of congressional hearing, I don't remember what he was doing now, but like they asked him about same-sex marriage, and he said, do I, as an Orthodox Jew, believe in same-sex marriage? No, I'm an Orthodox Jew.
But again, just you to me, is it a sin or not?
From a religious Jewish perspective, orientation is not a sin, but activity is. That's also the same perspective of most major religions, so far as I'm aware.
Major religions. He means the Abrahamic ones.
Good. He doesn't even have to think about it. Like, so whether or not you agree with something or not, if you've accepted a religious way of life, you just go, right, this is what my religion tells me. And amongst it, it says things like, don't judge, love one another, love God with all of your heart, love...
Yeah, but it also entails, in the case of the Republican Party, try to enforce your religious beliefs on other people with laws. For example, a woman's right to choose.
God not to get anything, but just because that's what we do, is we love God because we come from God, that we're about God. And if you try and return to those points, it'll help you through, I've found, a whole host of complexes.
Really? Is it though?
Issues. Actually, it's irresistible.
So what? Love Pam Bondi?
And inexhaustible. This is obviously a post by Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul, about hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it's protected by the First Amendment, keep America free. And that's the very kind of thing about Charlie Kirk that I admire. Now let's have a look at this. This is Trump, I suppose, backing Pam Bondi.
And what do you make Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
She'll probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well,
there you go. I mean, so I guess I'm just going to say it. To the right wingers out there, the maggots that sometimes show up in our chat room, to some of the folks that appear online occasionally and direct their vitriol in my direction, I accept your apology. You have elected and chosen to support an authoritarian fucking madman and his like gaggle of fucking toadies who believe that hate speech should be illegal and that people should be cuffed and arrested for hate speech, and that according to this giant fucking rotting circus peanut that you voted for, that includes critical press. So, yeah, because I'm feeling magnanimous, I accept your apology. Now go do something about it. Because now it's not about how I feel about you. Now it's about how you feel about you. Because you've got to deal with the fact that you are full to the brim with shit. You're full of shit. Freedom. Get the fuck out of here. Freedom Caucus? Where's the fucking Freedom Caucus when the AG of the United States, appointed by Donald Trump, is threatening to lock people up for speech? And Donald Trump's response to it is, yeah, we might go after the press and members of the press because they have hate in their heart. I mean, talk about some pre-crime fucking thought crime shit. Aren't you the ones who were like wagging around your dog-eared copies in 1984 and throwing quotes around about how Marxists are going to control language and all this kind of shit? Isn't that you guys? So yeah, because I live my principles, my principles aren't just a reflection of other people's lack thereof. I accept your apology and your mea culpa. Yes, you were stupid. You were wrong. You fucked up. Now go out into the world, and every time you pass a shiny surface where you can see your fucking face reflected in it, know that you are full of shit. The Real Woke TV, you're a silly person. Yes, free speech for me and none for thee, Mark. That's exactly it. What do you think Kimmel's next move will be at? He'll be back on in a week. Like, I really don't, that's why it's a temporary thing. And like, he'll lose ABC would lose a fucking free speech case that he could bring against them if they keep him off the air for that shit, permanently, or they cut his contract, that's worth more than what he would make on the show for the next 5 years. Oi. Anyways, so just to show you, like, I don't know what Rusty Trombone's reaction is going to be to this.
ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech, so maybe they'll have to go after you.
This dude's a fighter, and I think a lot of people...
He's a fighter. No, he isn't. Anybody's a fucking fighter when you have the U.S. military and the entire Department of Justice behind you that you can sick on people, and a never-ending supply of gullible fucks that will buy your crypto that you can use to fund legal attacks on people for their hate speech against you.
Really love Trump, love that fight. Remember, like, a lot of my affection to Donald Trump
comes from your love of Jesus Christ.
From that kind of moment when he's UABC, I don't trust you, like that kind of, that somewhat gangster confrontational aspect of Trump is what I admire. And that obviously comes from my own emotional palate, my own emotional injuries and wound.
Oh, your wounds. Fuck you. Be a man, you fucking bitch. Stand up. Wounds. If you admire his bullying bullshit, then just get at it, asshole. Jesus Christ. My wounds. Fucking wounds.
When it comes to a principle that's enshrined in your constitution, free speech, it don't matter what our personal affiliations are. It matters what the principle is.
Right, and he is violating that principle. He is threatening as the supreme executive of the administration to use the power that he has as the president of the United States to attack not only the people who are carrying out their free speech, who have that as a constitutionally protected right, but also he's doing it flippantly because he knows you will cradle his fucking balls in your gullet like a goddamn penguin.
Either you agree with it or you don't. Here,
don't. The word is don't.
Pam Bondi appears to be threatening to fire and prosecute people for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, which, look, obviously that's a horrible thing to do. It's disgusting. People shouldn't be doing that. In the same way you shouldn't burn the flag, because the flag to a lot of people means a great deal. People see it as the symbol of everything they love and what...
Wait, is Rusty Trombone coming around to realize that if you don't let people burn the flag, you lessen the flag because it no longer represents complete freedom?
People they love died for, so to burn that, you're kind of deliberately insulting someone. So, yeah, that's not good. You shouldn't do that. But does it need to be a matter of law? Tell me in the comments and chat.
That's her.
No, it's your fucking show. Make a stand, you fucking gaping anus. This is how easy it is. It is gross to burn the flag and kind of hack as a protest. But it is absolutely your right, because the flag itself represents the freedom to burn it. That's what makes it so good. That's what gives the flag its fucking value as a symbol, is that it can withstand being burned. Also, the flag code is that if a flag falls on the ground or is torn up or worn out, you're supposed to burn it to get rid of it. Stupid. It's the natural way of like cremation is the way you get rid of an old flag. It's a symbol. And for the symbol to have any fucking meaning, you have to be able to burn it. If you can't burn it and you'll go to jail for it because you're not allowed, then it is worth less as a symbol.
Horrific. It's free speech, but you shouldn't be employed anywhere if you're going to say that. And
you shouldn't be employed anywhere. She's the fucking AG.
Employers, you have an obligation to get rid of people. You need to look at people who are saying horrible.
Sorry. The Attorney General of the United States is saying that employers have an obligation to get rid of people.
Things, and they shouldn't be working with you. Businesses cannot discriminate. If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that.
What? You can't use fucking company time and company printers for a vigil you're doing outside of work any more than anybody else can. They don't have to give you... Jesus Christ. Then I guess anybody who belongs to a charity, congratulations. You can now use any of the resources of your company to support that charity. You can fucking print flyers. You can, like, if they've got like a fucking, I don't know, a turret lathe or a fucking metal press or something like that, you can make a giant vehicle that you drive down the street with a fucking horn on top of it, playing announcements about your favorite charity. What the fuck?
I have Harmeet Dillon right now in our civil rights unit looking at that immediately, that Office Depot had done that. We're looking at that. But Sean,
Made me realize that one of the problems is secularism, the idea that we can separate our religious life from governmental life, which we're
Yeah. It's actually in the Constitution. It's specific to that. That separation is actually built in to the system.
Hold is in order to preserve our religious freedoms, but in fact, it allows someone who's a Christian to almost put aside their Christian perspective while dealing with the most important matters that there are. True.
Why? What the fuck are you talking about? It can inform your behavior. You just can't enforce it. You can't use fucking the resources of your company or your government office for your own private religious shit. It's taxpayer money, fuckhead.
Truth, honesty, integrity, service.
Yeah, why do those have to be aligned with any particular religion?
It's interesting. This is what
it is interesting, isn't it?
Walsh.
Oh, and he's fucking quoting Matt Walsh, the dude we were just showing you, and the guy who was calling for unity. Well, congratulations, Matt Walsh. You've got unity. You and fucking Rusty Trombone, Captain 8 rape charges, is agreeing with you or asking his fucking public to, I don't even know. He always ends up going, tell me in the comment section what I should actually fucking say. Cha-ching.
Said about it. Get rid of a Pam Bondi.
All right, anyways. So you guys get the point. This, they are chewing the shit out of each other. And I'm for it. I'm here for it. Now that said, can we check in with the right's favorite inflatable? I was about to say love doll, but that love is an emotion. Trish Regan, FBI reveals new updates on extended network of 20 plus new suspected accomplices. That's a tall order. 20 plus suspected accomplices. FBI probes an extended network that aided and abetted suspect Charlie Kirk shooter Tyler Robinson on the dark web. Hold on. Dark web. FBI probing. Possible Kirk shooter, whatever. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is New York Post. I don't know why she's getting it from there. I guess they all get printed in the same shit. FBI probing possible extended network that, get out of here, that aided and abetted suspected Charlie Kirk shooter Tyler Robinson. The FBI's number 2 man. And Bongholio, if he's anything, he's number 2. Said that he could have been aided and abetted by an extended network, alluding to multiple warning signs he gave leading up. We saw this interview. Fucking stitching this shit together. Post-president, law enforcement was already probing whether pro-trans online groups, sexualized, animal-obsessed furries, and others connected with Robinson had advanced knowledge of his alleged murderous plans. Now, there's like 5 accounts that allege to have known about it and said like, hey, guys, some big's coming. And then when Charlie Kirk was killed, they went, told you so, which, again, could have been anything. And then they just jumped on it because you can kind of lay that out and go, they do this with, the QAnons did this a ton. They would go, pay attention to the headlines. And then they would just find something in the headlines that they liked and go, told you. Right. So now, but now FBI Director Bongholio suggests that the feds are casting an even wider net, scrutinizing whether anyone in the crowd, including possibly the detective who was asking Kirk a question at the moment of his murder, knew anything about the plot. They've already cleared that person. FBI investigated whether Charlie Kirk's alleged killer, Tyler Robinson, was, quote, aided and abetted by an extended network. Robinson allegedly assassinated Kirk during an event. Bongholio told Fox News America's Newman Bill Hemmer, we watched this, that his G-men are looking into whether the shocking killing of Kirk, a 31-year-old conservative, was part of a larger effort, could be involved in providing that, or someone who knew the specifics of it and failed to report that. We'll also be dropping a lot of paper, a lot of subpoenas out there to take a look to see if there is any extended network. Like, this happens every time shit like this goes down. Notice they're not digging into the fucking CDC shooter, though, because I guarantee they don't want to take a look at that motherfucker's, X history, Twitter history. So there we go. This is Trish Regan, like, again, we've seen this interview. This is a lot of fucking maybes that Bongholio was throwing around, but she's clickbaiting on the idea that it's out there.
Roommate and his, significant other, who text stuff like they did.
It's Vanilla Candace.
The FBI, and I've got very, very good sources at the FBI, and
no doubt.
I spoke with somebody pretty high up recently, and this person told me that
pretty high up. That would be Bongholio.
They're looking at everything. By the way, congrats to the FBI, for goodness sakes. I mean, what an amazing job. It was like 33 hours.
33 hours, exactly that number, which they mentioned a bunch of times before he turned himself in. He'd have still been in the fucking wind. He planned on keeping it until he died with the secret, but they didn't find the gun and track it to him and all that kind of shit. God damn. He turned himself in, fuckhead.
And they got the guy, right? And as I understand it...
No, not right. Not right. They did not get him. His mom saw pictures, called his dad. His dad called him. Then he talked to him. He said, it's me, and I just want to kill myself. Or it might be me. He didn't actually, I don't think he fully confessed to his parents. He just said, I want to end it all. They called his youth pastor, and then they all took him in. They didn't get him.
Not everybody wanted to release the photo, but thank goodness you got Cash and Dan there who had the common sense to say, let's get this photo out and make sure.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's up to the locals. The locals wanted to release it. The FBI can't even nix it if they wanted to. For real. Like if the local, it's a murder in Utah. Whatever the political implications of it, if the FBI said don't release the photo, god damn it, they go, fuck you, we want to catch the guy, and you guys don't have anything, so we're going to release it. We want to catch the dude. All they can say is yes. If they would advise the locals to not do it for some specific reason, then they wouldn't. This is fucking stupid. Eat shit, lady. Stop treating everyone like we haven't all watched a dozen Dateline episodes in a day.
Because somebody's going to recognize him, right? So
yeah, his fucking mom. Somebody's going to recognize it. Jesus Christ, he acts like it was fucking street justice. Finally, a mob of maggots in red hats chased him up a fucking tree.
Excellent job by the FBI, but here's my question, and I think that it's fair to say, and I know this from sources
that will remain anonymous, and when Trump, is not the president, we always call bullshit on those, but now that he is, they're completely trustworthy.
The roommate's not out of the woods yet. I know that there's, he's cooperating, whatever. But again, I get back to this. This guy, Tyler Robinson, was allegedly pretty smart, right?
No, specifically pretty smart. Engineering degree, great on the ACTs.
I mean, not even allegedly. He got a 4.0, graduated.
There you go.
From school with a 4.0, got a 36 or 34 on his ACT. I mean, I speak in SAT terms because, I am from the Northeast and we take SATs here. That would be like a 1500, 1550 on an SAT. So he's no dummy. So why would somebody who is absolutely not a dummy actually...
I think mine was 1460, if I recall. Much to everybody's chagrin, especially the dean who wanted to kick me out of school.
Fast in a text message, unless that person wanted to make sure that the feds found it and to make sure that the roommate was somehow never implicated in any of this. Because the roommate is...
Well, she's part of the whole, this is all scripted.
Like, wait, what? You did it? Wait, why? Blah, 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 blah. So I just...
Yeah, that was the part that confused me as well. When they went, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, first of all, how do you even spell that? Blah, 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 blah. Is it dashes or is it dots? Yeah.
I think that is peculiar and strange. And I think there's a reason this roommate is not out of the woods. Apparently the roommate is cooperating. But then again, what is this text message about?
Well, it's not the only evidence that they have. And this is the part that's necessary to make the indictment. It's not the actual case. And again, any asshole who's treating this like Candace Owens did, like this isn't the indictment document, that it's actually the evidence they're putting in for the case, is fucking stupid. Please continue.
Who would send a text message like that saying, okay,
I don't know. Who would shoot somebody in the fucking neck, dummy?
hey, I got to get my gun, I this, that, and I did it. I had a chance to take him
I know, blah, 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 blah.
out, so I decided to do it. This is kind of unbelievable, all right? I don't think a smart person with the kind of scores that this guy had and the intellect that he supposedly had would actually be sending out text messages like that, right? I mean, what 4.0 student with high ACTs be sending this out?
I don't know what high ACT 4.0 students shoot fucking people. I don't know. What's the average fucking mental headspace of somebody who's assassinated another human being, regardless of their grade point average, you fucking putz?
He writes, telling this guy, make sure you delete this exchange. And since, Trump's gotten into office, my dad, loves him, blah, blah, blah. So, my dad could turn me, and it's going back.
Yeah, I think in this case, if you're really making criticisms about the specifics of something, it's good to just kind of blather past it.
Forth, that the feds are going to find that. So is this all about making sure that you protect the roommate? So
okay, so I wanted to show you that because that is the prevailing thought on the right as well. So the ones that don't believe that the Jews did this or whatever that's happening, I want to show you this real quick, if I may. It's fucking Benny Johnson, I think it was. Like an asshole. I'm scrolling. Forgive me. I'm scrolling because that's what happens. So much of this shit. Okay, this is today. I know I've got it here. Yeah, here it is.
Scenario.
Shut up. All right, let me back this up to here. Okay, he doesn't play it. Okay. I wanted to show you the thumbnail on this, but this is Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson's playing this thing about fascism from Ronald Reagan.
If fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Now,
zing.
Got Spenny. There's a famous scene in the series Breaking Bad,
where the show that is one of my favorite shows, even though it's about a terrible human being. Please explain it to us, Benny.
Where Walter White, the guy who breaks bad,
sells meth, I think is what he makes. He makes meth and sells it. He breaks bad. Is that how it was? Is that what it said in the fucking script? This is the part where Walter breaks bad.
Is on a recorded line with his wife. Now, he's had his cover blown. He's the kingpin of this massive drug empire that he was...
Yeah, it's not, I'd say massive. It's like a 9-guy operation at its absolute zenith.
Co-running with his wife.
It's basically like 3 people.
They're both in on it. Walter White knows that the line is recorded, and so he decides to absolve her of all blame by attacking her, screaming at her, shrieking at her, threatening her, saying he's going to kidnap their children, that she was the good guy and he was the bad guy.
Right, yeah. It's a television show.
Knowing that that's going to be put into the record and it's going to save his wife.
No, I get the attempt at it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to fucking work.
Kind of the beauty of the series is that you end up rooting for Walter White.
That's not the beauty of the series. It's the fucked up part, stupid. The beauty of the series. Shut the fuck up. It's the quality of the writing. I didn't root for that motherfucker. You know when I stopped rooting for him? Hold on. Fuck you. I hate this shit. The show was well crafted. The characters were well designed. But let's not pretend that he was a good fucking dude or you rooted for him. Hold on. Wait. Jesse's girlfriend die. I don't even want to. Yeah, season 2, episode 12. There's a shot where there's a shot where Jesse's girlfriend is dying of an overdose, and he's worried about her ruining the whole plan, so he watches her die. And watching that shit, suddenly, I was watching it for the kind of prurient part of the show, just to like see it, but everybody was like starting to root for this fucking guy, and I was like, fuck him. I hope he gets caught. I hope he gets killed. What the fuck? Stand there watching this girl fucking choke on her own vomit. You could save her life just by rolling her over. Even if she was gonna fuck up your whole plan, if you saved her life, maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she'd be an ally. What, like there's all sorts of room in this, but nah. She's like, fuck it. Let it, watch her die. So how about fuck him? And how about fuck you, Benny Johnson, the beauty of the series? I'll ride you with the fucking quality of the series. The impressive manipulative ability. And by the way, I would say, arguably, that the Penguin series... chat room. Who's seen the Penguin? Does anybody watch the Penguin series? With Colin Farrell as the Penguin? He's fucking terrific in that role. It's the best villain-focused series I have ever seen. And I will not tell you why, but you have to watch to the end. When you watch the end of it, you'll see why it's the best villain-focused show. And to all my actor friends who always say that hack horseshit, villains are more fun to play. It's more fun to play a villain because it's more fun to play a villain. I say to you, you have never played a villain. You have played a cartoon. You have played a caricature. You have played a cardboard cutout of a fucking villain. Because playing a real villain is fucking awful. It will make you sick. Or you're not playing a real villain. You're playing a fucking hand puppet. For the record. So there you go. And I'm not a method actor. But if you're in the moment, it fucking sucks. And also, I would like to put a pin in that whole bullshit about, like, how do you play a villain? Well, you find something you like about yourself because they would always find something they like about themselves. Go watch Mindhunter. A bunch of those guys fucking hated themselves and knew it. They didn't find something about themselves. They didn't, like, stare into the fucking mirror before they went out to kill somebody like they were a fucking Al Franken character. There you go. Anyways. So. And by the way, I love Heath Ledger for what he said about queer as folk. So. It's very sweet of him. So, anyways. And Benny is a pedestrian thinker. This is what we always see with Benny Johnson. He's a great example of the sort of Whitman sampler of thought on the right, because he's such a shallow-brained dipshit that he will give you the rubber stamp version of whatever like maggot thinking is out there.
Even though he's technically the bad guy.
No, he's actually the bad guy. He's a fucking bad guy. He's a terrible person. It's not that. He's the protagonist in a story about the fucking bad guy.
Well, the point is that...
The point is, you're a moron. And your comprehension skills when you watch anything is completely fucking suspect, you douchebag. And also, this is not an original thought. I would like to also... I'm getting ahead of myself here, I'm sure. But I'll bet you anything, judging from all these fucking... if you notice, he's always just basically reading Twitter. That's his fucking job right now. That he didn't find this clip and go, oh, wait, I remember that moment. Fuck you.
This is an operation to save his wife when everything's already broken and destroyed.
It's already broken and destroyed. Yes, it was running so well when they were able to get kids shot in a drug war selling their special meth. Yes, that's a well-oiled machine.
And that's what many people are saying about Charlie Kirk's killer. And these mysterious texts that are out with his boyfriend. I got to tell you, we had a breaking news read yesterday where I just kind of read these and we're like...
You just kind of read these? Well, I feel much better about this. Gee, I take back some of the things I said about Candace Owens. You just kind of read these?
Well, a little convenient, isn't it? Yeah, it's like if AI wrote text messages.
Dude, your show is like if somebody set up a fucking AI avatar bot to respond to a series of X tabs on a fucking browser.
In order to absolve a single party in a dual party crime. It is bewildering to me to think that the boyfriend, the transgender boyfriend of Tyler Robinson, knew nothing about this. But that is conveniently what the text messages relay.
Right. Well, they would if there was a concern that they would spill the beans or start saying something about it if they did know.
Almost in a perfect timeline and cadence.
There's that word again, timeline. Somebody's been, you think he's been binge fapping to Candace again?
It has many people questioning, what's going on here?
Many people? Are many people doing that? Many people are doing this? Is that why you have so many fucking Twitter fucking tabs open, you weirdo?
Exactly. And why would these text messages be written in a specific way, at the specific timeline, in the most stressful moment of this individual's life? You're being hunted by every federal authority on earth, and you're here writing like sonnets and Shakespearean poems?
They're not sonnets and Shakespearean poems. Using the word yet at the end of a sentence and saying my love a couple of times is not a fucking poem, dipshit. I got to go back and grab my rifle at the, in the middle of this. Yeah, I don't know. Was that in Lear?
To your transgender lover? It seems staged.
Well, okay. Then explain to me how you think Kash Patel and Bongholio and Pam Bondi were tricked into believing this will pass as evidence then.
Many people are saying online.
Many? Are they? How many? 6? I'm going with 12.
The messages that you can read.
You're right, I can. I don't have a lot of faith in your ability to.
Were not released with their timestamps.
Oh, we know. Candace had an issue with that.
Were not released with the dates that they were sent.
Yeah, they were. The date's obvious because of the timing of when he turned himself in on the 11th.
But what it does is it absolves the transgender boyfriend of literally every single step of the crime.
Well, if they aren't a part of any of it, they would be. They would be ignorant to all of it, and therefore that's where the conversation would go.
First, it absolves the transgender boyfriend of knowing about the crime.
Right, that would be enough, I guess. And then everything afterwards. So if they didn't know about the crime, they're probably not going to know about the rest of it. So they're going to respond as if they didn't know about the rest of it if they didn't know about it. Asshole.
Then knowing why he was engraving bullets. Really? You just...
Yeah, really. As I guarantee they were on his fucking desk.
You're there, your partner is sitting there engraving bullets in his spare time and you don't have any questions about it. Then it goes into like the plot of the crime. This is apparently between Charlie Kirk's killer and his transgender boyfriend.
Apparently. Sorry, why are you saying apparently? Do you think that like this was a faked conversation that wait a minute, that Kash Patel fucked up so bad that these are between Tyler and somebody else? Or between Lance Twigg and somebody else? That Tyler isn't the shooter? What do you mean apparently, motherfucker? Even if you believe they're fake, they're still between the same people.
And then a long conversation about like his grandfather's gun and the cost of the scope and so on, and the memes.
It's not a long conversation. It has to do with the fact that they can trace the rifle back, and if they don't trace the rifle back, he's going to have to explain to his dad where it went at some point if he manages to stay off radar for, months at a time or something. If it takes a long time and they never figure out who he is, that's where his mindset is. You can read it. Or, sorry, I can read it.
And all of it effectively saying, I take full blame, you knew nothing. Now, this doesn't stop ABC News from gushing over the texts, saying that the texts were very...
You just called him a Shakespearean sonnet, you fucking moron. Gushing? This is basically what Nick Sorter says. Or the guy in the clip, rather. Whoever it is.
Away
the ABC guy.
That many of us didn't expect.
Who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances.
Oh, it's very precious. It's very touching. Matt Walsh.
Yeah, people jumped on that word like crazy or whatever.
I'm leaning very strongly towards the theory that this text exchange was scripted in a way that to absolve the boyfriend.
Because Matt Walsh definitely wants the tranny to be guilty. Like, that's where... What a shock. The dude who did the documentary What is a Woman is pissed off that the trans person might be innocent. Shocking.
It's almost exactly what Walter White did. At the end.
Except not on a phone call, and obviously it wasn't being recorded. And
Breaking Bad, it feels like a strategy cooked up from watching too much TV.
Oh, okay. Oh, see. So that's what he's saying. So you stole his idea to play that clip at the beginning of the I see. All right. Sorry. I forgot you're a lazy, plagiarizing dickhead.
Text message between Robinson and his roommate. Remember how I was engraving bullets, he says? The roommate knew.
Yeah, that's what that person's tweet said.
It seems extremely faked. It seems...
Really? According to people posting on Twitter? No shit.
Like they were sent, like almost like they had pre-typed them.
Wait a minute. Sorry, it seems almost like? Well, why didn't you say so? Your Honor, I rest my case. Can you scroll down to the page there of the messages that we've verified come from these people, but you've just seen right now? Yeah. How would you describe them? Well, they seem almost like a lie. Thank you. No more questions.
The most plausible and sensible theory isn't that the FBI made up the text messages and released them, but that the killer and his boyfriend constructed a highly scripted text conversation as an alibi for the boyfriend. I don't know that to be the case, obviously, but it's highly plausible scenario.
Sure. Great.
We do know that Tyler Robinson was a high IQ individual.
Unlike Kash Patel, for example, or Pam Bondi, or you. So
a high IQ operator.
Sorry, did he work at 411?
And that Tyler Robinson is somebody who scored off the charts in his SATs and ACTs.
No, he was actually on the charts. He did very well, but they didn't have to add a fucking extra couple of pages.
I see that the FBI has taken to writing fan fiction. Young gay men talk to one another like this. Half of this is in cop speak.
Right. This is the part. This is where he's walking into the bullshit that this was fabricated by either the police or the FBI to wrap this case up nicely. This, by the way, is what's floating around in the Candace Owens, the Jews in Israel did it. Just so you know.
Interrogated, squad car, retrieve it, swept the spot. Why does he address multiple loose ends in this convo with significant other unprompted and expressing that he didn't want him involved?
Because he was becoming involved because it had happened and he was beginning to think he wouldn't get away with it, which is clearly what he said to his parents, where he was contemplating killing himself. That's why he's on suicide watch now. Stupid.
Not good at this. I will have left no evidence except for the note that I wrote you in confessing my crime and all these text messages laying it out in meticulous detail for everybody to find and convict me. Okay. People are saying it's very strange. This is not normal conversation between two people.
Wait, does Benny know that's not an actual quote, that's that person paraphrasing?
People, especially not two 22-year-olds. I mean, my old man.
Oh, look, wait, Lauren Chen. Hold on. Isn't Lauren Chen the person that... Wait a second. Chen. Was it... Yeah. Lauren Chen's the one that that hired Benny to be part of the Tenet Media Group. That's so nice. You went to... It's fucking Old Home Week there, Benny. Long before she allegedly aided a Russian propaganda operation, Chen built an audience posting right-wing videos under the name Roaming Millennial. That's good old Lauren Chen, everybody. There she is. Lovely girl. Lovely girl. That's the person who paid Benny Johnson to join Tenet Media and work for Russia. And he's fucking he's still quoting her tweets. I guess they found a way to crypto him the money now or something?
For real. It's true. Kids don't say stuff like that. Either the shooter staged this with his boyfriend to absolve him, or a third party wrote it. What do you think?
Well, if they were staging it, wouldn't they just make it look like the rest of their shit? I don't know. Look at the rest of their text messages. Did they talk like this all the time? Are they doing nerd fucking poetry and half true crime language? Dummy.
Near the end of Breaking Bad, Walt steals his baby.
He stole. And you stole this concept from other people on fucking Twitter.
He calls Skylar. He knows the phones are being monitored. The house is filled with law enforcement. He immediately starts yelling at her, saying how it was all him and threatening her. Basically saying, you knew what I'd do if you ever betrayed me. One of his final acts was out of love to clear her name and then blame it himself.
It was his fault. He started doing this because he had cancer. He was going to do it for a short time, and then he got mad with power, and he dragged her into it. It was that, or they'd fucking all go to jail and lose their house and all this kind of stuff. They have a handicapped son and a new baby.
Those are these messages to Charlie Kirk's boyfriend feel like a desperate attempt to go down with the ship alone. Completely scripted, just my opinion. I put the...
Right, and what's that based on? Other than, damn it, I want the trans person to be the guilty party.
The alleged text message exchange and his lover to ChatGPT and asked if it seemed real. ChatGPT says the texts are most likely fabricated. Too detailed and too incriminating to be real, according to...
Well, that nails it. Okay, I don't even know why we need a jury anymore if we have ChatGPT taken care of.
AI. Goodness gracious, look. There it is. Stylistic mix. Slang plus exposition. Narrative flow leans towards AI-assisted creation. It's fabricated.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, did they do these answers? So let me get this straight. It's in the text chain. It's in their contact, back and forth from their. So they each came up with their own scripted cut and paste. Create this dialogue for me. And then I'll cut and paste it. And then you cut and paste the response. And then when I put a response in, I'll type that into ChatGPT. And then I'll get a response from it that I want it to say this. And what the fuck?
Either by a human writing a mock transcript for dramatic effect. You know, here's a good question. Did the transgender boyfriend have access to both phones?
Yeah, I don't think the FBI will be able to figure out if both phones were really as far apart as they said they were, him being in another city, like 100 miles away.
Phones are tracking devices, were the phones found?
Probably not. I don't even think do they even look anymore? Probably just blow it off, right? I mean, they didn't put the timestamps in the fucking indictment, so I'm going to guess they just nah.
On Tyler Robinson? Seems like a normal, logical question.
Well, I would, if I were you, Benny, I would just bother the police. You should call them. Maybe they didn't notice. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they missed it. Maybe they're suckering you, dumbass.
Try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I really have a hard time believing the short text exchange of the alleged shooter. Here we go. This is great. This is what this really short text exchange does. He makes his confession. He confirms the location of the weapon, confirms the type of weapon, confirms it's wrapped in a towel, confirms his motive, exonerates the decoy, George Zinn, admits the bullet engravings, confirms the wardrobe change, confirms how long he's been planning it.
By the way, George Zinn got arrested for child porn. Hold on. I don't know if you guys know this. The guy who said he did it and was charged with obstruction. Got the old guy with his pants down that was being dragged away. He didn't want to turn over his phone, but they made him because they get to look. I'm sure they'll find something on there. This is my child porn. Please, I hope the cops don't look at it, right? And then Benny will be reading those text messages tomorrow because he's a fucking moron. Yeah, he was busted with child sexual abuse material on his phone. Yes. Zinn admitted that he gets sexual gratification from viewing and sharing child sexual abuse material images with others, and that his preferred victim range is 5 to 12 years old. He's been charged with 4 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor Monday after investigators found more than 20 images of kids as young as 5, at least partially naked and posing in a sexual way. Zinn, who's political gadfly, is also facing a charge of obstruction of justice after he allegedly admitted that he shot him on the thing. I don't know what political gadfly means. He's quickly taken into custody. That's the guy everybody was like, he's not the shooter, and it was some crazy old guy. So what they're saying is that not only are they left-wing trans terrorists, but they're also in league with an old pedo that they wanted to exonerate.
Discloses the existence of the location, now destroyed pre-written confession note. Randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is a diehard MAGA, as if he wouldn't already know this, given the nature of the relationship. That's right. Like, again, seriously. And is worried about his dad, grandpa, being upset if he doesn't come home with the rifle.
Is his dad not MAGA? I mean, if anything, this looks like it was written to distance himself from his father, exonerate his father. Why would he do that if he was against what his father believes? Isn't Kirk MAGA?
Not the fact that he used it to commit a murder, not to mention 22-year-old terminally online Zoomer using phrases like squad car, drop point, swept the area, my vehicle, till I died of old age, my old man.
Yeah, but he was also raised by a MAGA family and was brought up around militaristic guns his entire life.
Buy it.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck what you buy, dude. Like, this is like watching somebody go, I don't know, Like, you listen to Ted Bundy talk in court, and he seems really fucking charming. I have a hard time believing he bludgeoned a girl to death with a log. It just doesn't make sense. You know, he's so articulate, and he's talking these ways, and he's questioning witnesses.
Don't buy it.
I don't buy it. I mean, he's a white guy, a Republican.
This is the most convenient confession and accounting of events in human history.
No, it isn't. Edmund Kemper got bored of not getting caught and turned himself in.
Many people are responding, saying...
Yeah, again, what is this appeal to volume that goes on the right? I'm not saying this. A lot of people are saying this. You think that makes you more right or just part of a dumber group?
To this post saying, yeah, this looks like... This doesn't look right.
Yeah, well, it's not right to shoot somebody in the fucking neck, dummy.
I think I got away with it and didn't leave any evidence. So let me text you all the details about the crime and leave a perfect digital paper trail for my guilt. Right.
There was no digital paper trail for his, quote, guilt. He asked them to get rid of the exchange. They knew that people were onto him. The picture was out. He knew his partner was going to find out.
High IQ autist casually incriminates himself in text and communicates exactly what crime he just committed, detail by detail. I do find it strange that he is so long-winded here in these text messages and so detailed, and yet has no digital footprint, just a couple of like blurbs here and there on Discord. Really?
Yeah, really. Sorry. So you think that this was concocted by the cops, and that somebody else expunged all of his YouTube shit and things he put in comment sections? What the fuck? Who did it? Who? Look, I'm fine with a conspiracy, but why? Who the fuck is cleaning up after him? The Jews? Like, that seems to be all you're leaning towards. What the fuck?
I showed this to my 21 and 23-year-old sons, and they said, no one they know texts like this.
Yeah, but no one they know shot anybody in the fucking neck and is dating a trans person and is in a fucking online furry group. What are you talking about?
Mom, this is how you text. Do 22-year-olds who text other kids like this? They don't use complete sentences or correct punctuation.
Ugh.
Prosecutors released the official text messages.
Also, real quick, these seem to be, I'm guessing, on iMessage, which they very well could have been doing from their laptop, not just their phones.
Which part feels...
Hence the typing.
Totally planned and scripted.
And by the way, we'll probably find that out later. But when people are like hammering out big, long stuff like that, they're either young and they don't give a shit about tapping with their thumbs a ton of shit, or they're actually at a laptop or an iPad or something like that.
To you, many people are saying this.
Yeah, nobody cares.
I'm on the team. I think the texts were genuine because I've spent years watching autistic shut-in Redditors talk to each other. Text chain with boyfriend way too on the nose strains credulity, says Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon has said he doesn't believe this is real.
We're going to have to get a lot more information here.
Yeah, I think so. If you're going to actually get a conviction, yeah, they're probably going to need that.
We're going to play the cold open, and then later I'm actually going to play the text messages between the assailant, the alleged assassin of Charlie.
I got it. I got to tell you, like, who do they think did it? If it ain't the left-winger that they're trying to hang it on, right? I don't talk about central fucking casting for their own personal paranoia. If it isn't that person, who the fuck is it?
Kirk and his roommate / lover, and I don't know.
You're right, you don't.
I was in the Writers Guild as a screenwriter.
Yeah, but you suck.
I'm just not buying it.
I'm not buying it, says Steve.
Right, because you wrote fiction.
And I can't be the only one calling BS here, can I?
Jesus Christ. Is this the fucking... Okay, I'm kind of over this, but I will say, like, that's what this fucker is doing on his show every day. That gets you 5.7 million subscribers. That chicanery, that garbage. Please subscribe, everybody. If you're watching the show, hit subscribe. Help me get to 100,000. That's all I'm asking. It's not all I'm asking, but it's all I'm asking right now. I'm going to let you guys go. I went a little bit over, obviously. But the key thing I want you guys to recognize is that what we were watching today was not them attacking Democrats or even people they thought were left-leaning in this. They were attacking each other. Shit, we didn't even get to Trump looking like a fucking caramelized circus peanut that somebody left in the microwave. I know that, JW. You can't subscribe more than once. You can subscribe on another channel, I guess. But if you're on there, yeah. Can you just run for president? I am. Give me some time. I'm setting up my AI thing now so that I can gather signatures, which is the most expensive thing. Anyways, if you're not already subscribed on the YouTube channel, please do. And otherwise, come over to Twitch, subscribe there. You can get a subscription over there. If you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime for your first one. Anyways, much love, and I will see you in the morning for Friday Eye, amongst other things. What a day, what a day, what a day. I mean, I'm condolences to all the people who are attacking each other over this shit in their deluded, self-involved, paranoid fixation that is so overwhelming they have actually fucking forgot about their dead friend. It's fucking pathetic. Like, at this point, I feel like I'm more sorry about Charlie Kirk's death than they are. For real. So caught up in trying to pin it on somebody, you know, or patch holes in their own paranoia. God damn. What a mess. So to all the Dems in disarray crowd, doesn't work that way, kids. We're doing just fine. Stay the course.
The screen glows bright with a crooked smile.
Yes, I am on Substack. Substack is the Housemark Substack Megaworldwide.
All venom, no style. Promises made, they rot in the air. A handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare. Puppets dance, the strings are tight. Shadows whisper in the dead of night. Bullshit! Bullshit! This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Bullshit! Can't undo it. Say it loud.
He's a genius, see?
We won't quit. This is some bullshit.
Negative function.
Paper thin truths that crumble like ash.
Just facts, man.
Golden thrones built on stolen cash. We raise our fists, we break the mold. Your house of cards is getting old. Static hums, the wires ignite.
Why are you dressed like that?
Truth's a bomb, we're ready to fight. This is some bullshit.
Don't wreck our show, you hoser.
We see through it. This is some bullshit.
Well, stupid, are you ready?
Can't undo it. Say it
cordos and motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Man, I'm tired of being